Today we are going to show you what's possible to do with 5 hours here in Manaus. Stay with us until the end of this video and learn all you need to know. I am Luis Lima and you are an Amazon Eco Challenger. Help us with a like and subscribe for more videos, that's very important for us. Today in 5 hours we will visit Rio Negro Palace, Meeting of the Waters, Janawari Ecologic Park, Indian Community. Ready for the tour?
Let's go!
Our starting point is the city center and our first goal is the port of Ceasa. But on the way we will stop by the Rio Negro Palace. The Rio Negro Palace is a remarkable part of Manaus history, as it was built during the rubber boom. The rubber boom is how it's known the late 1800s and the early 1900s, when Manaus was one of the richest cities not only in Brazil, but in the world, due to the monopoly of the latex from the rubber trees, a very unique material for the Industrial Revolution. This was the owner of this imposing building, Valdemar Schultz. He was one of the rubber barons of that time. He was a German-Austrian consul and became very rich with rubber in Manaus. The rubber barons' lifestyle of that time in Manaus was very eccentric. They used to spend a lot of money on fancy items, including prefabricated parts of buildings coming from Europe. The historical buildings of Manaus were all built with these prefabricated parts, like the Opera House, the Market, and Rio Negro Palace. On the recent history of Manaus, behind the Rio Negro Palace, there used to have many families living in really bad conditions, like a favela, without any basic sanitation. Then, due to a government project, they got a new house in a better area, and the government decided to build a square on this place where they used to have a huge community of houses on stilts. Now it's a very nice place where the families come for jogging and also for the kids to play on the playground. Now let's continue our way to the port of Ceasa. But before arriving at the port of Ceasa, we will pass by the industrial zone of Manaus, known also as tax-free zone. This area is the current business of the city, with over than 700 factories, providing employment for the local people. This area exists since the late 60s. These factories are responsible for the city of Manaus have over than 2 million inhabitants, as many people from the small cities come to live in Manaus for working. After half an hour drive, we finally arrive at the port of Ceasa. This port is very unique. The reason? It's because here it's where the highway we have from Manaus to the rest of the country starts. And the only possible way to continue from here by car is with the ferry boat. The cool thing about this port is that it's not only a port but also a market. Here it's possible to buy stuff you need for the tour, like mosquito spray, flashlight, sunblock, hat, and more. And of course, the fish market. And as we are very far from the Atlantic, so we have here only river fishes. We now ride by boat to the Meeting of the Waters. The Negro River, which means the Black River, is the biggest affluent the Amazonas River has, with 1700 kilometers from its source in Colombia until the meeting of the waters. It has a black color due to the decomposition of organic material known as humus. The black natural fertilizer on the ground is the result of many organic items from the jungle, like leaves, plants, animal feces, and more. So this decomposition phenomenon happens during the flood season, when the Negro River floods a big part of the Amazon rainforest. It also makes the water very acidic, which means we won't find mosquitoes on this tour.
5 minutes later.
So this is the meeting of the waters. The meeting of the waters is the meeting between Solimões River and the Negro River. The two rivers run side by side for kilometers before the Negro River mix with the Solimões River. They don't mix immediately due to the difference on the density, temperature, and velocity. We now head on to Januari Ecologic Park. On the trail to the water lilies, there will have some monkeys. Please don't feed them. And also, beware your cameras and belongings. These guys then can take it from your hands and run into the forest. And so it's bye-bye.
You've been hit by a smooth criminal.
The Amazon rainforest is divided in highlands and flooded forests. The area we are walking now, it's possible only because the stilts, as this is a flooded forest area, basically where the water lilies are found. These are the water lilies, also known as Victoria regia. Victoria regia, it's a homage for the queen.
Mama!
Well, not this queen,
Nobody loves me.
but the Queen Victoria. On the 1800s, when John Lindley, the English botanist, blessed the plant in honor of the Queen Victoria. When the Victoria regia it's a young leaf, it has a heart shape. Under the water, the leaves remain closed. Then they open in a tray shape, which may reach over than 2 meters in diameter. Under the leaf, you'll find compartments full of air, just like veins. This gives a special resistance to the leaf, a lot of resistance actually, to float in the water, and they can take many kilos on top of it.
Somebody once told me.
Okay, let's go back to the boat and head on to the indigenous community. So we have arrived at the indigenous community. You must be wondering now, is it really Indian community? Or are these guys really authentic? And yes, they are authentic. This is really an indigenous community. They are a combination of different ethnicities coming from upstream's Negro River. This is a way they found on modern life to provide a better life quality to their community, by standing together and giving us a chance to know more about their lives in a safe and friendly way. Yes, safe and friendly way. I say that because Indians living isolated are very unpredictable, as they are very territorial. It means it's better leave them alone. So the Indian chief is calling us for the dance and ritual. As this community is a combination of different ethnicities, they use different indigenous language to communicate between themselves. They also don't mix between the tribes, they keep procreating between their own ethnicities. They just share the land for doing this tourism attraction for the visitors. But for explaining each dance they are doing and performing, they use Portuguese to communicate with us. Each dance means a way to say thank you. They are thankful for the visitors to come in their community. They are thankful for their healthy. They are thankful for the Mother Nature to provide everything they need. In the end, they will take you to a place where they sell some souvenirs, handcrafts. I recommend to bring cash for this tour. Well, this is it for today. Help us with a like and subscribe for more videos like this. And if you have any suggestions or doubts, leave in the comments. See you next time!